All right, welcome everyone. Today we're going deep into the teachings of Guru Nanak.
But with a bit of a twist.
Yeah, through the eyes of the mystic Osho.
Right.
We're diving into one of Osho's talks where he really gets to the core
To the heart.
of Nanak's message.
Yeah.
This idea that there's like a single divine source
A single source behind everything.
behind everything.
Yeah, and what I find so fascinating is how Osho takes Nanak's life, these stories, and kind of uses them
Uses them.
to get us thinking about our own, like, hang-ups.
Yeah.
You know, our fears, our egos.
And in the end,
Yeah.
what true fulfillment actually looks like.
Yeah. What does that even mean?
Right. So Osho starts off with this really intense story
Oh, yeah.
about young Nanak meditating in a cremation ground.
Oh.
Not exactly your typical teenage hangout spot.
No, not really. Most of us, we kind of shy away from even thinking about death.
Right.
But Nanak seemed to, like, embrace it.
Yeah.
And Osho interprets this as, like, Nanak was seeing the material world, like the world that we're all caught up in.
The one we're obsessed with.
Yeah, as the real place of dying.
Ah, interesting.
Because everything here is temporary. Yeah.
So it's like saying that by facing our fear of death head on, we could have this...
This profound awakening.
yeah.
Yeah, like a spiritual rebirth.
Yeah.
A rebirth of consciousness.
Like you can achieve spiritual awakening by confronting your fear of death.
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
It's heavy stuff.
It is, and it makes you kind of wonder, you know, are we so busy chasing all these things in this temporary world
Yeah, are we missing the point?
that we're missing something much, much bigger?
Yeah, and Osho then talks about how, like, a lot of religious practices are actually driven by fear, not love.
Oh, interesting.
Like, we perform these rituals because we're afraid of, you know,
Of punishment.
of punishment.
Right.
Not because we, like, genuinely love the divine.
Like we're trying to, like, bargain.
Bargain with the higher power.
Yeah,
Yeah, instead of surrendering.
right.
And this is where Nanak's message is so powerful.
Yeah.
He taught that true connection. It comes from this place of surrender,
And love. And love.
not this fear-based bargaining.
Not trying to, like, manipulate the universe.
Yeah.
That makes me think about my own spiritual practices, you know?
Totally.
Am I doing things out of fear or am I doing things out of love?
Right, and I think it's probably a mix for a lot of people.
I gotta be, right?
Yeah, yeah, and Osho uses this really vivid metaphor to kind of drive this point home.
Oh, I love his metaphors.
I do. Lay it on me.
Okay, so he talks about bathing in the Ganges River,
Okay,
which is considered sacred in Hinduism.
right.
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 People believe that it washes away their sins.
Yeah.
But Osho suggests that just the physical act of bathing,
Right.
it doesn't actually purify your inner being.
It's not enough to just go through the motions.
It's not about just the motions. It's about finding that, like, what did he call it?
the Ganges of heaven.
Yeah.
The Ganges of heaven, which sounds a lot nicer.
It does. It's about inner transformation.
Okay, so how do we get there?
Ah, well, there's catch.
Of course there's a catch.
There's always a catch.
There always is.
Osho says the biggest obstacle to that transformation is our ego.
Our ego, of course.
Yeah, that sense of I, the one that wants to be in control all the time.
The one that always wants to be right.
Yes.
Exactly. And he uses some pretty funny stories to illustrate this.
Oh, he's great with stories.
Like, do you remember the one about Mullah Nasruddin?
Oh, yeah, running for office.
Running for office? Yeah.
Nasruddin's like this, you know, this wise fool character.
Yeah, yeah.
But in this story, he's just completely driven by ego.
It's all ego.
Totally. He runs for office, and he only gets, like, 3 votes.
3 votes.
3 votes.
He's amazing.
From himself, his wife, and, like, some random person.
And he still can't accept defeat?
He can't accept it.
It's so funny.
It's hilarious, but it's also kind of sad.
Yeah, it really is.
It makes you think, you know, how often are we clinging to that sense of I?
The need to win.
Yeah, that need to be right, to be in control.
Could that be holding us back?
Yeah, could that be holding us back from real connection?
It's like real spiritual growth.
From that transformation.
Yeah.
That's what Osho and ultimately Nanak seem to be getting at.
Okay.
True surrender.
Yeah.
It means letting go of the ego's control and recognizing the divine as the real driving force.
So it's more like things are happening through us.
Through us.
Yeah.
Instead of us forcing everything to go our way.
Yeah.
And this takes us to another point that Osho makes.
Okay.
He contrasts these worldly achievements.
Which always take effort.
Always take effort.
Yeah.
With the path of love and surrender.
And that's all about receiving grace.
Receiving grace.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he uses the metaphor of a boat sailing with the wind.
I love that one.
So good, right?
Yeah.
When we're fighting the wind, we get exhausted.
You get tired, you get burnt out.
But when we align ourselves with that divine will,
Yeah.
we find this effortless flow.
Right, but it doesn't mean you just sit around and do nothing.
No, not at all.
It's about recognizing that there's already this force working.
It's already working.
And you got to align yourself with that.
Yeah, like when you're working on a project
And everything just clicks.
and it just clicks.
Yeah.
You're not forcing it, you're in the flow.
We're in the flow.
Okay, so we've talked about fear,
We've talked about ego.
the importance of surrender,
Yeah, but what's like the essence of Nanak's teaching?
like the heart of it.
Yeah,
According to OSHO,
according to O.
it's all about remembering the one giver of all life.
Remembering.
But it's not just like mental repetition.
So it's not about chanting mantras all day.
It's not about just chanting.
Okay.
It's about cultivating this constant awareness
This constant awareness.
of the divine presence in every single moment.
In every single moment. Wow.
Like imagine, how do you think your life would change if you actually lived with that awareness?
Yeah.
How would your relationships, your work, your view of the world be different?
That's a big question.
It's a huge question.
Yeah, I mean, to really see the divine in everything,
Yeah.
that would be a radical shift.
It'd be radical.
It would be a whole different way of seeing things.
A whole different way of seeing things.
Yeah, and this is where Osho gets really interesting.
Oh, tell me more.
He talks about how Nanak saw even like worldly fame and a long life as meaningless without the divine's recognition.
Wow, that's pretty countercultural.
It's like the opposite of what we're told.
It is.
Yeah, Osho seems to be saying that true fulfillment, it comes from something totally different.
It's a whole different ball game.
Right.
He's challenging us to ask ourselves, like, what are we really looking for?
What are we really looking for?
Yeah, is it that, that fleeting worldly recognition?
Yeah.
Or is there something deeper, something more lasting that we're missing out on?
Right. What was that line from the Bible?
Oh, you mean, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, he's echoing that.
Yeah.
There's a higher value.
Higher value than just worldly success.
Yeah, and he makes this really stark contrast.
Stark contrast.
Between the hunger that drives the ego, that always wanting more,
Yeah.
and the deep fulfillment that comes when you align yourself with the divine will.
Right. So when ego's running the show, we're always chasing, always wanting more.
Never satisfied.
Never satisfied.
But trying to fill this bottomless pit
with stuff.
with stuff.
Yeah.
But when we align ourselves with that higher purpose,
Yeah.
when we surrender to it,
Yeah.
Osho says we discover a whole different kind of fulfillment.
It's not about what you achieve out in the world.
No.
Yeah.
It's about an inner state of being.
So even if, like, everything falls apart around you, that fulfillment, you can't lose it.
It can't be taken away.
It can't be taken away.
Yeah, because it's not dependent on external things.
Wow. And this is where Osho asks the listener a really powerful question.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
What truly matters to you? What would you be willing to sacrifice for that connection with the divine?
Wow. That's a tough one.
Makes you stop and think.
It does.
Yeah, because
Because
we're all making sacrifices every day,
We are.
right?
Every single day.
But are we sacrificing the things that truly matter
That's the question.
for the things that maybe don't matter as much?
In the grand scheme of things.
And the grand scheme of things, yeah.
And the thing is, he's presenting these teachings as practical tools.
Not just philosophy.
Not just some, heady philosophy.
Yeah, yeah.
They're meant to help us live better lives.
More fulfilling lives.
More fulfilling lives, yeah.
So this concept of remembrance, it doesn't sound passive at all.
Not at all.
It sounds like an active engagement with life.
It is.
Yeah.
It's about being present.
Being present in each moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not about withdrawing from the world.
Right.
It's about bringing that awareness of the divine into everything you do.
Into everything.
Everything.
Seeing the divine.
In every interaction.
In every interaction.
Every experience.
Even the tough ones.
Even the difficult ones.
Okay, so how do we actually do that?
How do we cultivate this kind of remembrance?
Yeah, it sounds kind of daunting.
I know, it sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
But it's not about forcing yourself to remember.
Okay.
It's about creating the conditions for remembrance to happen naturally.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
It's a little less pressure.
A little less pressure, yeah.
So how do we create those conditions?
Yeah, how do we do that?
One of the simplest but most powerful practices is just paying attention.
Paying attention.
Yeah, notice the world around you,
Notice the world.
the sensations in your body,
The sensations in your body.
your thoughts and emotions as they come up.
So like mindfulness practice.
Yeah, in a way,
Okay.
it's about bringing this awareness to the present moment
To the present moment.
without judging or resisting it.
So instead of getting lost in our thoughts, we're just like observing them.
Observing them as they pop up.
Yeah.
And OSHO says that as we become more present,
Yeah.
we start to notice that divine presence
Yeah.
that's always there,
Oh, that's always there.
underneath the surface.
It's like we're tuning into a different frequency.
Exactly.
Okay, so paying attention. What else?
Gratitude.
Gratitude.
Gratitude is another powerful practice.
Powerful practice.
Take time each day to appreciate the good things,
The good things.
even the small stuff.
Even the small stuff.
It's so easy to take things for granted.
It really is.
But when we cultivate gratitude,
Yeah.
we start to see the world differently.
We do.
We recognize this abundance all around us.
This abundance all around us.
And we feel connected to something bigger.
to something bigger than ourselves.
It makes sense that gratitude could lead to remembrance.
It does. How so?
Well, when we're grateful, we're acknowledging that we're not the source of all the good stuff.
Right.
We're recognizing that there's something greater at work.
A force.
This force
that's providing for us.
providing for us,
Supporting us.
supporting us, yeah.
So it's not just about feeling good.
No, it's not just about, like, a nice feeling.
It's a shift in perspective.
It's a shift.
Yeah.
We start to recognize that we're interconnected with everything.
Yeah. And as we cultivate that awareness,
Mm.
we start to remember the one giver.
We start to remember.
Yeah.
We begin to see the divine in everything.
And everything in the divine.
And everything in the divine.
That sounds like a pretty amazing transformation.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's a transformation that's available to all of us
So all of us.
if we're willing to do the work.
And what does that work look like?
Well, we'll dive deeper into that in part 3.
Okay. A little teaser.
But I'll give you a little sneak peek.
Okay. Give us a sneak peek.
It starts with a simple choice.
A simple choice. Okay.
Choosing to cultivate that
Yeah.
remembrance
That remembrance.
and allowing that awareness to transform us.
To transform us.
Yeah, it's a journey of surrender.
Surrender.
Letting go of our small, ego-driven desires
Ego-driven desires.
and embracing the boundless love and grace that's always there.
That's always there.
But that, my friend, is a topic for our next part.
All right. We'll have to wait for part 3.
Stay tuned.
Okay. So we've been talking about this remembrance thing.
Yeah, this remembering.
And it's clearly like central
yeah, it's
to both Nanak and Osho. But it's not just...
It's not about remembering facts about God or anything.
right.
Osho's very specific about that.
Yeah.
He's like, it's not superficial mental repetition.
Not just like rattling off prayers.
Not just prayers, not just chanting.
Okay.
It's about, it's like a deep embodied kind of remembering.
Embodied remembering. What does that even...
Yeah, it's like cultivating this constant awareness.
This constant awareness.
Of the divine presence, but in like every single aspect of your life.
In every single aspect. So it's not just like...
It's about to compartmentalize that.
Not a compartmentalized thing.
It's not like, oh, I'm going to remember God now.
Right.
It's like, it's infused in everything you do.
Oh, so it's more like a complete like shift.
A shift in consciousness.
In consciousness.
Yeah, like you're almost rewiring your brain.
Yeah, almost like rewiring your brain. Wow.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, so it's not like, I remembered the divine for 5 minutes today, Jack.
No. It's deeper than that.
Deeper than that.
He uses the word transformation
Transformation.
to describe what happened.
When this remembrance becomes like so deeply ingrained.
So ingrained that it's not even something you do, it's who you are.
It's who you are.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm picturing like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly.
Oh, I love that.
Metamorphosis.
Yeah, complete metamorphosis.
He gives some pretty vivid descriptions
He does. He's very descriptive.
of what this looks like.
Yeah, he says, as this remembrance deepens, fear starts to like dissolve.
Fear starts to dissolve. Wow.
Those anxieties, those worries that we all carry around,
Worries.
they begin to loosen their grip.
So it's not like the problems go away,
Not necessarily.
but you relate to them differently.
You relate to them differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not solely identifying with that limited sense of self.
The ego.
The ego, yeah.
You're tapping into something bigger.
You're tapping into this source of strength
A source of strength.
and peace that's much greater.
That's much greater. That's awesome.
And he also says that as this transformation unfolds, negative qualities start to fall away,
Okay. Negative qualities.
like anger, jealousy, greed.
They lose their power over you.
They lose their grip.
Is that really possible?
Well, it's not like magic, you know?
Right.
It's not like you snap your fingers.
Right.
He's describing this like gradual but profound shift.
Gradual but profound shift.
As you cultivate this remembrance,
Yeah.
your priorities change.
They change.
Your motivations change.
Your motivations change.
What used to feel so important
Mm-hmm.
might start to seem kind of trivial.
Trivial, yeah.
It's like you're letting go of the things that were weighing you down.
I'm starting to see how, like, all these pieces fit together.
Yeah.
The fear, the ego, the surrender, the remembrance.
All connected.
It's all connected.
And he's suggesting that transformation is the natural outcome.
Of aligning yourself with that divine will.
It's like tuning your instrument to the cosmic orchestra.
I love that.
He's so good with the metaphor.
I love that one, yeah. And remember that one about the divine musician?
Oh, or being like an instrument.
Like an instrument?
Yeah, I love that one.
That's so good.
It captures that state of surrender perfectly.
Yeah.
When you let go of control,
Let go of control.
you allow the divine to flow through you.
Yeah.
Life becomes more like a dance, a song.
Like a dance, a song.
It's beautiful.
So this transformation, it's not about becoming someone else.
Yeah.
It's about, like, uncovering your true nature.
Yeah, uncovering that divine spark.
That's always been there.
It's always been there.
Yeah, it's like, what are we capable of?
If we could just tap into that more fully.
If we could tap into that, yeah.
And he leaves us with this really, really powerful question.
Okay, what is it?
What would it feel like to experience this level of transformation?
Know what it feel like.
To live a life that's infused with that divine presence.
Wow.
It's a big one.
It's a big question.
It makes you think about like these moments when you felt completely connected, in the flow, full of joy.
Yeah, like glimpses of what's possible.
Glimpses of what's possible.
And it's this reminder that, like, true fulfillment, it's not about, like, the external stuff.
It's not about the money.
The achievements.
Not about the achievements.
It's about, like, aligning yourself with that divine current.
Aligning yourself with that current that flows through all of life.
All of life. Yeah. So after all this deep dive, where does this leave us?
Where do we go from here?
Yeah. What are we supposed to do with all these insights?
Well, I don't think OSHO or Guru Nanak were like handing down rigid rules or anything.
Right.
They were offering a path.
A path.
An invitation.
Yeah.
To explore this potential within each of us.
So it's about taking these teachings
Yeah.
and weaving them into your own life.
Into your own unique life.
Yeah.
It's not about becoming like carbon copies of Nanak or OSHO.
Not about being a copycat.
No, it's about finding your own way.
Finding your own way. Yeah.
And it starts with remembrance.
Remember
the one giver.
the one giver.
Remember the interconnectedness of everything.
Yeah.
Remember that divine spark that's within you.
Remember that divine spark that's within you? That's a good one.
It's like a good one.
Yeah. And maybe, just maybe,
Yeah.
in that remembrance, we find the transformation,
The fulfillment
the love
That is-
that we've been searching for.
that we've been looking for all along.
Oh,
That's the hope.
that's the hope, yeah. Okay, so we're back, and I'm, like, really curious about this transformation OSHO keeps talking about.
Yeah, the transformation.
Like, what actually happens when we
when we embrace this reverence.
As remembrance. Yeah. Is it like a light switch?
It's definitely not a quick fix.
Not a quick fix.
No.
Okay.
Remember Nanak and OSHO both, they emphasized that this isn't just mental,
Right.
you know.
It's not just another thing to check off your to-do list.
It's not another thing on the to-do list exactly.
Right.
It's about a fundamental shift
A fundamental shift. Oh,
in your being, like how you experience yourself
Mm-hmm.
and the world around you.
So it's not like, I remembered the divine for 5 minutes today, I'm good.
No, it's more profound than that.
More profound.
Osho uses the word transformation
Transformation.
to describe what happens when this remembrance.
Yeah.
It's so deeply ingrained that it's no longer something you do, it's just who you are.
It's who you are.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm picturing like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly.
Oh, yeah.
Complete metamorphosis.
Complete metamorphosis. I love that.
Yeah.
And Osho gives some really vivid descriptions
Yeah, he does.
of what this actually looks like.
What it looks like.
Yeah, he says, as this remembrance deepens,
Yeah.
fear starts to dissolve.
Fear starts to, like, melt away.
Melt away, yeah.
Melt
Like
away?
all those anxieties and worries we carry,
The worry.
they start to like loosen their grip.
So it's not that the problems disappear.
Not necessarily.
But it's how you relate to them.
You relate to them differently.
Yeah.
You're not so caught up in that limited sense of self,
The ego.
The ego, yeah.
You're tapping into something, like, way bigger.
Yeah, you're tapping into this source of strength and peace that's much greater.
That's so cool.
And he also talks about how negative qualities start to fall away.
Okay, negative qualities.
As this transformation unfolds.
Like what? Like anger.
Yeah. Anger, jealousy, greed.
It just loses its power.
It loses its grip on you.
Is that really possible?
Well, it's not magic.
Right.
It's not an overnight thing.
Right.
But he's describing this gradual but profound shift.
Gradual but profound.
As you cultivate remembrance.
Yeah.
Your priorities change, your motivations change.
What used to be so important
might start to seem small.
Small. Insignificant.
Insignificant, yeah.
It's like you're letting go of all that baggage.
Letting go of the baggage, exactly.
And I'm starting to see how all these pieces connect,
Yeah.
The fear, the ego, the surrender, the remembrance.
It's all interconnected.
It's all part of this one big thing.
It's all part of this one big, beautiful tapestry.
That's a good way to put it.
And Osho's saying the transformation.
Yeah.
It's like the natural outcome of aligning yourself.
With that divine will.
With that divine will.
It's like tuning your instrument to the cosmic orchestra.
I love that. He's so good with these metaphors.
Metaphors, yeah. And remember that one?
About the divine musician.
The divine musician playing our being.
Playing our being like an instrument.
Yeah, like an instrument.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's so perfect.
It captures that state of surrender.
So beautifully.
So perfectly, yeah.
When you let go of control.
And you allow that divine to flow through you.
It becomes like a dance.
A dance, a song.
Life becomes a dance, a song.
Yeah.
So it's not about becoming someone else.
No, it's not about changing who you are.
It's about like uncovering your true nature.
Uncovering that divine spark.
That's already there.
That's always been there.
And it makes you wonder, like, what are we capable of?
What are we truly capable of?
If we can tap into that.
If we can tap into that.
More fully.
And he leaves us with this really thought-provoking question.
Right, lay it on me.
What would it feel like to experience this level of transformation?
Whoa, what would it feel like?
To live a life infused with that divine presence.
Wow, that's a big question.
It is a big question.
Yeah, it makes me think about those moments when I've felt like truly connected, in the flow.
The flow.
Full of joy, like glimpses of what's possible.
Glimpses of what's possible.
Yeah, and it's this reminder that, true fulfillment, it's not about like all the external stuff.
Not about the achievements, the money.
It's
about aligning yourself with that divine current.
That divine current.
That flows through all of life.
All of life.
Yeah.
So where does this leave us?
Where do we go from here?
After all this deep diving.
After all this exploring.
Yeah, what are we supposed to do with all of this?
Well, I don't think Osho or Nanak were about handing down, like, strict rules.
Right.
They were more about offering a path,
A path, an invitation.
An invitation.
To explore.
To explore this potential that's within each of us.
So it's about taking these teachings and finding a way to make them your own.
To weave them into your own unique life.
Your own unique expression.
Exactly.
Not trying to be Osho, not trying to be Nanak.
Not trying to be a copycat.
No.
It's about finding your own way.
Finding your own way. And it starts with...
remembrance.
Remember
the one giver.
Remember the one giver.
The interconnectedness of everything.
Yeah, remember the divine spark that's within you.
Remember that spark.
And maybe, just maybe, in that remembrance, we'll find the transformation.
The fulfillment, the love that we've been looking for all along.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Into the wisdom of Osho and Guru Nanak. Until next time, keep seeking.
Keep questioning.
Keep questioning and keep remembering.
Please like, share and subscribe.